Good morning, everybody. It's Ashley coming to you guys with yet another video. Today is Monday. I believe it's February 22nd. And today's video will be the controversial parenting tag. Now, I wasn't tagged to do this video, just like the last parenting tag that I did. I wasn't tagged either, but I thought these were some really good questions. There's 9 questions here. And without further ado, let's get started. Question 1, cloth diapers versus store-bought diapers. We've decided on store-bought diapers. Our reasoning being that I know that it'll help the earth and it'll be more cost efficient for us to try cloth diapers. I'm not opposed to purchasing a few and trying it out, just because I will be an at-home mom and I will be able to wash them and change them and all of that. But to start out, we for sure will be going with store-bought diapers. For my research, Pampers, I believe it is the best brand, only because I wanted to do the Honest brand, and the reason that I wanted to do the Honest brand was because I've heard so many good things about them, and they're eco-friendly and all these other things, but I've just heard that they leak too much. Now, it's one thing to save money or to help save the environment, but if they're gonna leak a lot and then I'm gonna have to use, more water to wash the baby and to change your clothes and all of that, what am I really saving as far as the environment or money? You know what I mean? So according to research, Pampers is the best brand as far as leakage goes. So we're gonna start out with Pampers. That's what I've put on my registry, and from there we'll see what he likes and what he doesn't like. I definitely want to try cloth diapers just because I do want to get that experience and be able to say for myself whether I like them or not, opposed to just assuming that it's not a good choice for me. But for now, we are going with store-bought diapers. Question 2, circumcision. I know that this question is, everybody has their opinions about circumcision. In my family, circumcision is pretty much just automatic, and that's why I think it's a lot to do with like your family, your upbringing, your culture. A lot of that has a lot to do with whether or not or what your viewpoint as a parent is on circumcision. So for us, my boyfriend is circumcised. My brother's circumcised. To my knowledge, my father's circumcised. So naturally, I come from a family and a culture where that is the norm. That doesn't mean that that is the reason that I should circumcise. But there's just so much that goes along with not doing it, as far as like, I remember years ago I babysat a little boy who wasn't, and changing his diaper was much different because there is a lot of extra skin around it. And I remember his mom explaining it to me, like she had dropped the baby off, and when he got wet, I changed his diaper, and I was just so confused. I was like 15, this is like 10 years ago. And long story short, I was so confused. I got the wipes and I didn't know what to do. So she called me like right after I had just changed his first diaper. And she's like, I forgot to tell you he's not circumcised. And she had to give me all these instructions. So I had to like take off his pamper and redo it because I didn't clean in there. And she was telling me that, it would stink if you left the excess pee in there, and he would get a rash and so many other things, and I don't want my child to have to go through that. Sorry, the last clip of this video was interrupted by a call, but as I was saying, you can't, it's a choice that you make for your child that is unchangeable if you do choose to circumcise. But I just feel like anything I can do to make my son's life a little bit easier, like where I come from in my culture, like I remember in high school even, there was a little boy who, or not a little boy, but a high school student who got teased because I think he was a football player, and I think that, I don't know if they saw his penis in the locker room or what it was, but all the football players would tease him and spread rumors because he had he wasn't circumcised, and they would tease him and basically say, and they would call him like turtleneck and pullback and all these crazy names. And I don't want my son to have to go through that. And I don't know, I think that it's a decision that he won't hate me for, or he won't wish that I didn't make for him, because it's just more sanitary. You have less to worry about as far as dating when he's older. There's just so much more to it, you know, health things, all of that is important. And so for me, if I can do it when he is a newborn and it's something that he'll never remember, the doctor that I go to, I've already researched him so much. And one of the beautiful things is, when I was researching him as an OB, the bonus was there were so many people who said that he was so remarkable at the circumcision. Now, that doesn't mean that there are no risks of bad things happening or anything like that, but you just have to pray about it. And like I said, he is a really good doctor, and he really is, he has really good reviews on being circumcised. So if I can give anybody a bit of advice as far as that goes, I would say just make sure that you do your research. Like, if you can't find any research on the doctor that you go to and his success rate with circumcision, you don't have to use the doctor who delivers him. You can find another doctor, but just make sure you do your research and that you make the right decision for you and your child. Question 3, vaccination. Personally for me, I get vaccinations as far as like if you travel across the country or out of the country, or things like that. Like when I was in school, I would get vaccinated, but I find that like when I get the flu shot, for example, I am always, like the 2 times that I've gotten the flu shot in my life, I was the sickest I've ever been. Like those were the hardest winters I've ever went through. So there are certain vaccinations that I don't think are necessary, like the flu shot. But as far as like a newborn child, I do agree that they should be vaccinated, and that it is a good idea, because you don't want to have your children out here and, you know, from the hospital, they're around all these other babies. Family will visit for so many weeks and months after the baby was born. You're kissing on them, you know, grandparents feel entitled, you know, all these people just feel entitled to show this baby so much love, and you don't know that can be detrimental to your child. Like, I've seen stories about, like, recently a child died because a relative kissed him and they had like a cold sore and it killed the baby. Things like that, if I can prevent it, I will. So our son will be vaccinated. Question 4, pro-life versus pro-choice. I'm definitely pro-choice. I don't think it's anybody's decision or anybody's place to judge anyone's decisions. We all make our own decisions in life. I think that more than taking away choice from people, we should spend more time trying to educate. If you have a young girl who's been raped, she has the choice to choose abortion. If you have a child who is manipulated by an older guy or a boyfriend or whatever the case may be, accidents happen. And I think that if you make a mistake, it's not something that you should always have to live with for the rest of your life. That's my opinion, and if I can, I will do a whole video on that, but I am definitely pro-choice. Question 5, breastfeeding versus formula. I said this in the pregnancy tag, but I'm 100% breastfeeding. I will also do another video to tell you guys how to get a breast pump provided by your insurance company, or an electric breast pump provided by your insurance company if you cannot afford one. But I think that if you're in school, if you're working, still breastfeed. If you can only, you know, give your child 50% breast milk and 50% formula, I think that it's so important. And I actually went to a breastfeeding class, or my boyfriend and I did, 2 days ago, last Saturday, and we learned so much information about the colostrum. You know, even if you don't breastfeed, give that baby that colostrum, because it's full of so many antibodies that will protect your baby, and things that, there's so much that formula can give your baby that store-bought milk that is prepared or created in a factory cannot give your child. And to me, I think that it's important that all parents at least try to breastfeed. So that's us. We will breastfeed, or I will breastfeed the first entire year. At 6 months, I will introduce solids through like pureed vegetables. I don't plan on any table foods, any McDonald's. You know, I see babies in strollers with suckers or McDonald's fries in the hand. None of that. He will be breastfed for the first year, and then I do intend at that 1 year mark to wean him off of the breast milk and just onto table foods and solids. Question 6 is co-sleeping or bed sharing. Now, with my baby being a newborn, bed sharing is not an option. Even though we have a king size bed, I'm not the smallest girl in the world. My boyfriend is not the smallest guy in the world. We both sleep pretty heavy, although lately I have been sleeping much lighter with this pregnancy. And that is my biggest fear, is putting him in the middle and one of us rolling on top of him and not even knowing it, or putting him on the outside of me, him falling off the bed. I don't want any of that. I don't think it's safe to bed share with a newborn. Now, a toddler, when he's older, when he's 2 years old, you know, and he's able to move himself and wake up and things like that, is a different story. But as a newborn, like the first year, I do not intend to bed share. As far as co-sleeping, yes, 100%. Like, I don't intend to, I don't even know if we're gonna do a nursery for him, like in a separate room, just because I'm so afraid of SIDS. And as an African American woman, I found out that African American babies have the highest rate of SIDS. So it's just something that I find a comfort if his bed is right next to mine. I was thinking of even doing like the pack and play and putting it right next to our bed, so that way he can have his own space and he's not in our bed, but he's right there. And also a bonus with that is that with me breastfeeding at the end of, or in the middle of the night, I'm able to wake up and just grab him and feed him and put him back down and be right there with him if anything, God forbid, should happen. Question 7, ear piercings. I don't know. I got my ears pierced. My mom pierced my ears as soon as I had all of my shots, and I was able to. I think it's 3 months or maybe it's 6 months that you have to wait before you can pierce a baby's ears. Because he's a boy, not a girl, I won't be in a rush, but my son's name is Diamond, so 9 times out of 10 his ears will be pierced. Question 8, rice cereal. Rice cereal is absolutely positively banned from my house. I do not intend to feed him that, because to me rice cereal is a filler. As his mom, I think that people who feed their babies rice cereal are just looking for a filler to make the baby get fuller, like mixing it with the milk so that they get fuller and then the milk stretches. I do not agree with that, although, like I said, I'm pro-choice. If that's your choice, I respect it. But for my son, I do intend to, like I said before, only feed him breast milk, and then from there we'll start pureeing. So if he needs protein to fill up, avocado. There's so many options out there of natural foods that he can eat, and he's so little that if you're not overfeeding your baby, they don't eat a whole lot. So I tend to never ever even try rice cereal. I will make my own rice and puree before I buy the box of rice cereal. But that's just my choice. Last question is question 9, and it's solids before 6 months. No. Again, my baby will be 100% breastfed, God willing, that, you know, everything goes well with that. I was told in my breastfeeding class 2 days ago that you're supposed to breastfeed within the first half hour of the baby's birth. Sometimes your milk takes a while to develop. So God forbid mine takes a while to develop, but if I don't develop the milk as fast as I'm supposed to, then of course I'm not gonna starve my baby. If at any given point, if I'm not producing milk like I'm supposed to and he's not getting enough, I will introduce him to formula. I will formula feed him, but only as a way to make sure he's not starving, never as a way to feed him 100%. So if I'm not producing enough this week, then I will formula feed in addition to my breast milk, or try to mix it or something. But I never ever want to formula feed, especially before 6 months. And with that being said, no solids at all. So for example, like I said before, I see babies and they have like candy in their hands, or they're eating, you know, whatever. I don't see a need for it. I know it's hard with like other people, like grandparents who've had children, or like my boyfriend or whatever. They'll think like, oh, he can just suck on this or whatever, you know, he'll like it or whatever. I don't want him to have anything but formula for the first 6 months. Maybe water, but nothing. I don't want him to taste something and like it more than he's supposed to, and it makes it hard. So that is the whole controversial parenting tag. I did that probably in about less than 20 minutes. It should have been less than that, but apparently I talked too much. So without further ado, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye bye. Oh, I'll show you guys my belly really quick. I never show you guys what it looks like. This is my linea negra. I had my belly button pierced, and as you can see, for some reason it wasn't dark or scarred before, but for some reason, like inside my belly button and where the piercing was, it's hyperpigmented really bad. I'm not mad at it, but this is my belly. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.